Hi all, in this lecture let's see k-means algorithm implementation using Python. We have seen that k-means algorithm is used for clustering. It's an unsupervised machine learning algorithm. You are given with unsupervised data, that is data with only attributes or x values. There is no y values associated with your data. So based on the distance between the data points, we are trying to group these data points into multiple clusters. Here in k-means algorithm, k equal to the number of clusters. So this is the data which we are going to use. We are having x and y. Actually, this is x1 and x2. You have two attributes, x1 and x2. x1, x2 can be used to represent this data points in two dimensions. So this part it is x1 and this part it is x2. So 1239 will be your first data point, 2036 will be your second data point, 2830 will be your third data point, and so on. So this is how the k-means algorithm works. You randomly select three data points as centroids. Randomly select three random data points as centroids. Let's say this is your first cluster centroid red, second cluster centroid blue, third cluster centroid green. Then you find out the distance from all the data points to all the centroids. You find the distance from all the data points to all the centroids, then assign each of the data point to the centroid which is nearest. Then this process will be iteratively done so that at some point there will not be any change in the data points assignment. So that is taken as the convergence criteria. So after doing this, you are going to get this sort of diagram where these data points are assigned to red cluster, these data points assigned to blue, and these data points assigned to the green cluster. So let's look at the Python code in the implementation. So this is implemented in two ways. The first method used is without using any library functions. So yeah, I have imported all the necessary includes, that is NumPy, then pandas, matplotlib for plotting your data points. Then you have this data point data frame is created by using our data which was shown here. This is your data. So using this data we have created a data frame. So it is pd.data frame, then x values and y values. Actually it is x1 and x2, so in x direction and y direction. So this is the first data point is 1239, second data point 2036, 2954, etc. So this is how the data need to be used. So this is a data point, these are data points in two dimensions. So now the first step is you find the value of k. Here you have selected the value of k as 3. Then you create three random centroids, or find out first three centroids, these three cluster centroids. So for create three data points now. Centroids equal to np.random rand int between 0 and 80 some value, between 0 and 80 some value. So this is your first centroid. Then run this multiple times in the sense for I in range k equal to 3. So for I equal to 0, I equal to 1, and I equal to 2, these many values, this will be run, and centroids will be having three values now. Centroids will be having three values. You can see that. So you have initialized your random with some seed value. So if you run this, includes is run, then data frame is created, then you run the. So this is your first centroid 2616, second centroid is 6842, third centroid is 5576. So this is generated randomly, that's it. So randomly you create three data points which are taken as the centroid. Now let's plot this in two-dimensional plane. So first plot is plot dot scatter x comma y. So x will be at one side, y will be the other side. So this data points, black data points will be plotted. So this is without the centroids. The centroids are plotted with the help of a color map. We create a color map. One is red, second is green, and three is blue. So using that, we'll plot centroids I, color equal to color map, marker equal to star. So we'll get star as the marker instead of this dot points, and a marker size also initialize. And using this color map, we'll construct this map. So these three data points are plotted by this statement, and the first black data points are plotted with this statement. So plot dot scatter means you will get a scatter plot. Plot dot plot means you will get a plot of line actually. So but here you will say this is the marker, so you'll get a mark. And of course without this you will get all this in the same color. So what we need is we would like to find out or plot it into different colors, right? Now we'll write the first part, that is to identify the distance. Distance in the sense distance from each data point to its centroid. So for I in centroids.keys means you will get three values 1, 2 and 3. Your centroids having three keys. We have seen here key is 1, key is 2 and key is 3. Key is having value x1, x2, or key dot 0, key dot 1, key dot 0, key dot 1 and so on. So these values. So np dot square root of x1 minus centroid. So it is like this: x1 minus centroid of x1, y1 minus centroid of y1. That's what written here. So dfx minus centroid I0 square plus dfy minus centroid I1 square root of x1 minus x2 whole square plus y1 minus y2 whole square. So here you will get the distance from a data point to all the, if you call this, you will get the distance from a data point to all the three centroids. That is the meaning of this statement. Then you are adding that to your data frame. So your data frame now it will look like this: x, y. Previously there was only two columns, x and y. Now distance from 1 is this, distance from 2 is this, distance from 3 is this. Now let's say we'll find out the closest value using the lambda function. So closest equal to map lambda x, which is the idx minimum. So you take the idx minimum and that will be taken as the closest, and that closest will be added on to the data frame. Now based on the closest you find out the color, and that also you add on to the data frame. That is by also using by lambda function. So just you call this function adds to centroid along with a data point. What it will do is a data point to all the three distances it will find out, all the three centroids it will find out, and it will add the values like distance from first centroid, distance from second centroid, distance from third centroid to this data frame, and to which data point, sorry, which centroid it is closest, and what should be the color of that. Based on this closest, the color will be identified. If it is 1, it is R. If it is 3, it is blue, and so on. So from that color map, we have created a color map saying that 1 is red and 2 is green, 3 is blue. So basically it will create or it will find out the distance and it will assign the data point to the centroid, that is this function. Now you call this df equal to add to centroid. Df data frame was previously x and y and centroid. Now you will get all these things, and once you print df.f, the first 5 data points from the data frame will be printed. So this is x1, x2, and its distance from 1 is 26.9, distance from 2 is 56, distance from 3 is 56 point something. So the closest is first centroid and should be colored as red. Now using this information you plot the data. So once if you plot dot scatter, only difference which we have made here is color equal to data frame of color. So color is taken from this data frame. So based on that, the data frame will now the data point will look like this. That is forget about this star markers. only this data points. So previously all these data points were black in color. Now based on the distance from the nearest centroid, or these data points are assigned to some of the centroids, that's the meaning of it. So this is the color. Now based on that, this is also marked, this star or centroids are also marked for your reference. That's it. So this is the statement here: plot dot scatter x and y, only difference is color, and that color is taken from the distance. Now you create a copy. You create a deep copy. Deep copy is used to keep recursive copies. So all centroids are kept there. All centroid IDs. Now the or keep the old centroids there, and now the new centroids are created. That's idea here. Copy, deep copy centroids. So all centroids are copied into uh, the centroids are copied into all centroids, and now we'll update the centroids. Updation is done by taking the mean of all the closest values. So first centroid is constructed such that the mean of all these values. Second centroid is construct the mean of all these values. So update centroids. That's the next step. Once you update the centroids, once again you plot the using the previous code, but there is no change for this code with the color, etc. Then the centroid will be plotted like this. So the data points plotting is same, and only difference is, okay, now you run this again, your centroids will be updated. So next you plot it. You can see that centroids are updated here. Only difference in the code is that this code is same. The difference in the code is this, but here in the code part there is no difference. But only thing is that centroids are updated. Update centroids equal to update centroids. But the data, previous data, is available in the old centroids. Why we would like to have the previous data is you need to check for convergence, right? So previous centroids and the new centroids, if they are having the same value, then you can say that you can stop. So this is just one iteration. So if you want to do multiple iterations, what we'll do is we'll create a while loop. While true, you find out the closest centroids, just copy the previous centroids, then update centroids, add to centroid, etc. So create updates and update to new centroids, then add to centroid, then once again you do this procedure. If the closest centroid is equal to df closest, means that the previous centroid and the new centroids are same, then you can stop. So if you run this multiple times, then you plot it, what your result you are going to get is this. So multiple times this while loop were executed, means that updation and add to centroid functions were multiple times executed, and you have found that this is your new centroids. So that's what k-means algorithm does. So that was implementation of k-means without using library functions or a in construction of k-means algorithm from scratch. Now let's see the k-means algorithm implementation using scikit-learn library. So we'll use the same dataset, import and statements, everything is same, and that dataset is also same. So this is the import function for k-means. From sklearn dot cluster import k-means. Then you say what is k-means equal to k-means number of clusters equal to 3. Then k-means dot fit data frame. That's it. So instead of all the previous things, what you have to do is you can combine all these things into these two statements. You create a k-means object and fit the data onto it. So once you fit it, you will get a k-means value. Your algorithm is auto, etc. So this was just shown here. What is the number of maximum iterations that algorithm is going to do? All these things are written here. You can change this maximum iteration by giving argument here. Now you see that this is k-means dot predict. Then you can see what is the cluster centroids, etc. Then you plot that value also. So in prediction, it will show you what exactly which are the data points assigned to which are the clusters. That is prediction, and centroids are the converged cluster centroids. So this is how the data points are assigned to the cluster centroids, just like the previous um, raw implementation. You can get the output. So the output or the plotting code is same. Only thing changed is here I have made a colors one list to mark these data points with different colors. Here in k-means predict, what you are going to get is using that y predict value, you can say to which group this data point were assigned. So using y predict, if it is group 1, then you mark it with one color. If it is group 2, mark it with another color, and so on. So that's how k-means is implemented using a raw implementation and a implementation using Python scikit-learn library. These are the functions used in scikit-learn. sklearn.cluster import k-means, and this function then k-means.fit and k-means.predict. So that's about the implementation of k-means algorithm. Thank you.